All right, good day and welcome again to Physics Workroom. Today, we shall be talking about addition and subtraction of fractions. How do we add together and how do we subtract fraction? I know that it is easy to add numbers and to also subtract numbers, but how about fractions? That is what we shall be talking about today. I'm going to take a few examples that will help you to understand this better. Okay, example 1. I have 5 over 11 plus 4 over 11. Now, these are fractions. 5 over 11 and 4 over 11 are fractions. So, how do I add them together? When you have a fraction with the same denominator is the number down, the number that is below the fraction line. This is a denominator. When you have the same denominator, then all you do is to keep the number down. In this case, it is 11. Then I will only take one of them and keep. Then I will add the number up. 5 plus 4 is 9. I can do this easily because the denominator is the same, 11 and 11. Is that okay? All right. So when you do that, all you do is to add the numbers up, the numerators, 5 plus 4, which will give you 9. Now let me go to example number 2. I have 16 divided by 23 plus 17 divided by 23 plus 19 over 23. Okay, how do I do this now? The idea is the same. Because I have the same denominators, then all I do is to keep the denominator 23 because they are the same. Then I will add the numbers up. 16 plus 17. Sorry, this is supposed to be minus 19. 16 plus 17 minus 19 will give me 52. Are you following? Okay. I can do this easily because I have the same denominator. I hope it is simple enough. Okay, let's go to question number 3. I have 33. I have 33 divided by 50 minus 21 divided by 50 plus 71 divided by 50. Now you can pause the video and try to do this on your own. Then you come back to check if it is correct. Okay. Because the denominator is the same again, 50, 50, 50, then I will keep the denominator. Alright? Then what do? I will now subtract and add the numerator. So 33 minus 21 plus 7 will give me 19. So you can see how easy this can be. Alright, so let's go to question number 4. Example number 4. Here I have 8 divided by 13 minus 5 divided by 13 minus 1 divided by 13. Once again, you can pause the video, try this question on your own, and come back to check if you are correct. Okay, now again, because the denominator is the same, I have 13, 13, 13. Then I will keep that here. I will keep the denominator once again. Then I will subtract the numerators. 8 minus 5 minus 1 will give me 2. So my answer is 2 over 13. My answer is 2 over 13. Okay, let's take another example now. Example number 5. I have 4 over 7 minus 2 over 7. I'm sure you can do this very easily. I will keep the denominator, which is 7, Then I will subtract the numerators. That will give me 4 minus 2 will give me 2. And that is the answer for that question. I hope this is very easy for you to do. Okay, let us go to another one. Let's go to another type of fraction where the denominator is not the same. The 5 examples we took now shows that the denominators are the same. Okay, let's take another example where the denominators are not the same. Remember, I told you that denominators are the numbers below the fraction line. Those are called denominators. The numbers above the fraction lines are called numerators. They are called numerators. I hope you get that very clearly. Alright, so example number 1. In this example, the denominators are not the same. I have 1 over 5 minus 1 over 6. How do I go about this? Now, for me to subtract this easily, I need to make sure that denominators are the same. When I do that, then I can apply the other idea to subtract them. How do I make sure that these denominators are the same? I need to look for a number that will be common to the two of them. These 5 and 6 are multiples of number 30. If you are confused, you don't know how to find the common denominator, what you do is to multiply the two of them. Are you following? You can multiply the two of them and that will give you the common denominator. So 30 is my common denominator. If I multiply 6 and 5, I will get 30. So that's my common denominator. Okay, now how do I change 5 to 30? The only way I can change 5 to 30 is to multiply 5 by 6. To multiply 5 by 6. So 5 times 6 will give me 30. Now, in this calculation, whatever you do for denominator, you must also do for the numerator. Because I have multiplied this by 5 by 6 to get 30, I must multiply the numerator by 6 also. So 6 times 1 will give me 6. Then minus. Again, I have my 30 down because it is the common denominator. So how do I move from 6 to 30? It's by multiplying by 5. 6 times 5 will give me 30. Then whatever I do for denominator, I must do for the numerator also. So I will multiply this by 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. And 6 times 5 is 30. Now it is easy to subtract because I now have a common denominator. So my answer will be, I have my 30 down, then 6 minus 5 will give me 1. 6 minus 5 is 1. So this is the answer to this question. I hope it is simple enough. Okay. Now let's take another example to make you understand this type of questions better. I have 1 over 2 plus 1 over 5. No, 1 over 4. 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4. 1 minute. Let me remove this. Okay. 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4, right? Minus 1 over 8. You can see that we have different denominators. I have 2, I have 4, and I have 8. How can I get the common denominator? How can I get the common denominator? You can see that 2 and 4 are multiples of 8. Why? Because when I say 2 multiply by 4, I will get 8. When I say 4 multiply by 2, I will get 8. Then when I say 8 multiply by 1, I will get 8. So it means 2 and 4 are multiples of 8. So I can take 8 to be my common denominator. So I have 8. Alright, how do I move from 2 to 8? It is by multiplying with 4. So 2 times 4 will give me 8. Remember, anything you do for denominator, you must do for the numerator. So I have 1 times 4 also. Alright, so 1 times 4 will give me 4, and 2 times 4 will give me 8, plus. How do I move from 4 to 8? It is by multiplying with number 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Then 1 times 2, because I've multiplied the denominator by 2, I must multiply the numerator by 2 also. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. You can see now that the denominator are getting to be the same. Minus. Now I have my 8 here. Then, no, sorry, this is supposed to be 1 minute. Alright, so this is minus sign. Then for the next one, because my common denominator is 8, I'm not changing anything. So this fraction will remain the same. So I'll have my 1 here. Now it is easy because denominators are the same. I can add and subtract the numerator. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. So my answer will be 5 divided by 8. My answer is 5 over 8. Okay, let me go to another example 3. Example number 3. I have 19 divided by 24 plus 7 divided by 72. Okay, are you following? Now, you can pause the video, try to see if you can do this on your own, and you can come back to check if your answer is correct. Okay. Now, what can be my common denominator here? Because I have 24 and 72. These denominators are not the same. These denominators are not the same. So how do I make them the same? I need to get the common denominator. So what will be the common denominator in this question? If you look at it very well, you will see that if I keep multiplying 24, 24 times 1 is 24. 24 times 2 is 48. 24 times 3 will give me 72. It means when I multiply this by 3, I will get 72. So 24 times 3 is 72. Remember, I must multiply the numerator also by the same number so that the fraction will remain the same. So 24 times 3 will give me 72. 19 times 3 will give me 57. Then I have plus. Remember, it is the same denominator, so I will not change this fraction. I have 7 over 72. So how do I do this? Then I add now. Because the denominators are now the same, then my answer will give me 64 divided by 72. If you watch my last video, you will know how to reduce this to the simplest form. If you reduce this to simplest form, this will give you 8 divided by 9. To learn how to reduce this to simplest form, please watch my last video. Alright. Now let me take another example. Example 4. I have 1 over 4 minus 1 over 7. Okay, how do we do this? What is the common denominator here? Now, I told you that one of the ways you can find your common denominator is to multiply the numbers. You multiply the numbers, so 7 times 4 will give me 28. Are you following? Okay, now how do I move from 4 to 28? It is by multiplying 4 by 7. Then I must multiply the numerator by 7 also. Are you following? Okay. Then 1 times 7 will give me 7 at the numerator. Then I have my minus sign. Then I have, how do I move from 7 to 28? Because 28 is now the common denominator. So how do I move from 7 to 28? Now what I can do is to multiply 7 by 4. So 7 times 4 is 28. Then I have to multiply the numerator by 4 also. Anything you do for the denominator, you must do for the numerator to make the equation, the fraction to remain the same. To make the fraction remain the same. So 7 times 4 is 28. 1 times 4 will be 4. So now it is easy to subtract. I will keep the denominator 28. Then 7 minus 4 will be 3. So I have 3 divided by 3 over 28. Now, let me go to the final example. Example 5, the final example. Alright, the example is 4 over 5 plus 3 over 10 minus 1 over 6. Try to pause the video. I'm sure you'll be able to solve this problem on your own and come back to check if your answers are correct. Alright, so what could be the common denominator here? What could be the common denominator? If you look at this very well, you will see that I can get my common denominator to be 30, because when I divide 30 by 5, I will get 6. When I divide 30 by 10, I will get 3. When I divide 30 by 6, I will get 5. So it means 30 can be my common denominator. Again, if you don't know, you can multiply all the numbers together. Then that will give you a common denominator. Alright. Now, how do I move from 5 to 30? It is by multiplying 5 by 6. Remember, you have to multiply the numerator also by the same number. So that will be 4 times 6. So what is 4 times 6? It is 24. Then I have my plus sign, plus. Again, my common denominator is 30. How do I move from 10 to 30? It is multiplying 10 by 3. 10 times 3 will give me 30. I must also multiply the numerator with the same number. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 10 times 3 is 30. For the last one, I have minus. Again, my common denominator is now 30. Now, how do I move from 6 to 30? I have to multiply this by 5. And I must do the same thing for the numerator. So 1 times 5 is 5. Then 6 multiplied by 5 is 30. Now it is easy to add and subtract these fractions. Now I have 24 plus 9 minus 5. That will give me 28 over 30. 28 over 30. Now, I can also move this to the simplest fraction, and that will be 14 over 15. Again, to learn how to do this, how to move from this fraction to the simplest form, watch my last video. So this is the final answer for example number 5. I hope you enjoy and you learn from this video. If you do, try to solve some problems on your own. That will make you understand better. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.